Happy deadline day, Mavs fans. I am Will Scott. Welcome into Mavericks today. It is the trade deadline for the NBA. We saw some stunning moves made last night in the association with Kevin Durant headed to the Brooklyn Nets. Let's revisit what that trade looks like. This actually happened while I was sleeping, producer Coops. I was pretty surprised when I woke up to this news this morning, but the Suns receive Kevin Durant, TJ Warren. The Nets get Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, Jae Crowder, 4 first-round picks, and a pick swap in 2028. Now, Jae Crowder is currently a member of the Nets. How about you trade for him here before the deadline? He might get moved again. He's expected to be shot by the Nets after being traded from Phoenix in the Kevin Durant deal. He has not played this year because he's been sitting out hoping for a trade. Here is what Woj said. The Nets are expected to explore trade scenarios for Jae Crowder ahead of today's 3 p.m. Eastern Time deadline, sources tell ESPN. So I just mentioned he has not played this year. Here's what he did last year. 9.4 points per game, little over 5 rebounds per game, 39.9% from the floor, shot 34.8% from 3. I think he would be great in Dallas. He'd be a good fit. I think he'd be a good piece to have around Luka and Kyrie. But would he be ready to contribute right away? That is the question. He has yet to play this year. Could he come in and contribute on this team right away, get big minutes right away? That I'm not so sure about. Now, would you trade for Jae Crowder? Y for yes, in for no, down in the comment section. Go down, let me know what you would do. Would you trade for Jae Crowder? We're your one-stop shop for all things Mavs. As you know, we're always going to have you covered when Mavericks news breaks. So go down, hit that subscribe button to stay in the loop. And if the Mavericks make a move today, we're going to get you guys a video. So be sure to turn on your notifications as well so you stay in the loop. Let's talk about Reggie Jackson now. Tim McMahon of ESPN, who covers the Mavs, is saying the Mavs would do a Reggie Jackson for Christian Wood swap with the Clippers. Here's what Jackson has done this season. A little over 10 points per game, 3.5 assists per game, 41.8% from the floor, 35% from 3. Again, McMahon is saying that it's possible that a Wood swap is possible here. Now, JaVale McGee ahead of Wood last night, so very interesting to see that. McGee has also been at the forefront of some trade rumors. We'll see what they do, but Wood's time in Dallas does appear to be ticking. Now, will he be traded before the deadline? I'm not sure. The Mavericks have a couple hours to pull that off, but I don't expect him to return to the Mavs next season. Here is the trade idea for Tim McMahon, just a straight-up swap here. The Mavericks would get Reggie Jackson, and the Clippers would get Christian Wood. So something to monitor here today ahead of the trade deadline. The Mavericks did trade Spencer Dinwiddie to Brooklyn in the Kyrie Irving trade, so maybe they want some more guard depth. Now, would you do this trade? Type A for accept or type D for decline down in the comments section. Go down and let me know what you would do. Would you accept this trade or would you decline this trade? We're going to be live over on our main channel today for the NBA trade deadline. That is the sublink right there, youtube.com/chatsportstv. We're going to be going live at 12 Eastern Time, noon Eastern Time. Hope to see you all there. If the Mavericks make a move, we're going to be talking about it. We're going to be live longer than most national networks, so be sure to go down and subscribe to our main Chat Sports channel. It was fun to watch that game last night, the Mavericks winning in Kyrie Irving's debut. Kyrie scored 24 points, 9 of 17 shooting, added 5 assists in the Mavs' 110-104 win. As we bring in producer Jeff Cooperstein. And Coop, this was an interesting game because the Mavs got up big early. The Clips come back with the Mavs hold on in the end. And look, they won against a legit contender in the West last night without Luka. The Kyrie effect we're already seeing that early.
It was pretty great. I mean, Luka wasn't playing, so Kyrie was the primary ball handler, and he just goes out there, and it looks really smooth. It didn't look like there was much of a transition period. It looked like Kyrie was just ready to play, and he felt refreshed in a new environment, so it was good to see. He, like you said, he had 25 points there, 5 assists as well, and he kind of ran the offense and kind of did things at his own pace. The Mavericks usually played a pretty leisurely pace, but Kyrie decided to really push it, and the Mavs played faster than they ever have before last night, so it was a good win.
Reggie too. He was shooting the lights out, at least in the first half.
He went 5 for 5 in the first quarter, and then went 0 for his next 6. That's classic.
In the first half.
That's classically what he does.
So it's going to be interesting to see Kyrie's effect on this offense, kind of opening up some opportunities for some other guys. But I do believe the Mavs are real contenders. Now, the West just got a lot tougher, right? Remember when Ja Morant said, "Yeah, I'm fine in the West"? Not anymore, Ja, because the Mavericks have Kyrie Irving and the Phoenix Suns have Kevin Durant. And when I'm looking at the West right now, I feel like the most talented teams in the West right now are probably Denver, probably Dallas, and probably Phoenix right now. Now, are those the top 3 teams in the West right now? No, but we'll see how it shakes out at the end of the season. Let's talk about Theo Pinson, too. He made 2 huge three-pointers in the Mavericks win over the Clippers. And as we bring in producer Coop again, what did you see from Theo Pinson last night, Coop?
Theo is a weird thing because he never plays. He's like the Mavs mascot on the bench, more or less. But he came out with energy last night, and the Mavs really needed it because he made 2 massive three-pointers. And without those, they probably don't win the game. He hit one where the shot clock's going down, and it was kind of a desperation 3, and he made. And then he made a big one late in the fourth quarter to put the Mavs up 8 that essentially won them the game. So it was a huge win for the Mavs, and we'll see what happens here at the deadline. I'm curious to see what other moves they make. Obviously, already made the Kyrie move. Do they trade Christian Wood? Do they trade Tim Hardaway Jr.? Where do they go from here?
I'm going to do rapid fire here. You tell me yes or no. Christian Wood gets traded today.
Yes.
Tim Hardaway Jr. gets traded today.
No.
The Mavericks trade for a guard.
Yes.
Wow, okay.
I think that Christian Wood for Reggie Jackson thing might actually happen. And
do you think that makes sense for both sides?
I do, because the Clippers are looking for front court help, and the Mavs are looking for guard help. And Christian Wood, obviously, if you watch the last 2 games of the Mavericks, you can see that Christian Wood, his mind really isn't in Dallas, and I don't think Dallas wants a long-term future with him.
Yeah, when he was traded over from Houston, Coop, I was expecting him to have a really big impact on his team. At the time, I felt like that trade was a steal for Dallas, and at the end, it was probably still worth the bargain for Dallas, giving up a first to get him. But I've just been surprised that the Christian Wood experiment hasn't gone a little bit better.
Yeah, it really hasn't worked just because I don't think the Mavs like his defensive prowess. He just hasn't been good enough on that end of the floor, and he's been a little inconsistent. Now, once they put him in the starting lineup, he did play a lot better, but when he got the injury, the Mavs basically started playing better on defense without him, and then he came back and just wasn't the same player. So I think the Mavs would just be better off trading him, and I think Wood would be better off as well.
It's worth noting a name that we talked about on this channel before, Jakob Poeltl. He has been traded to the Toronto Raptors, so he is not a big man that is available. Again, if the Mavericks make a move, we're going to make you guys a video, youtube.com/chatsportstv, and that's our main channel, youtube.com/MavsTV. Go down, subscribe to the channel.